My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people.
So right after Donald Trump announced tariffs on all of the top countries around the world, the crypto market absolutely plummeted, with some projects dropping 50%, upwards of even 70, 80, 90% since he took office, with a few outliers like XRP up 300%, SUI up 200%, XLM 139%, then we have XTC, Tron, HBAR, Virtual, and a few others doing fairly well. Now Trump has come out and said that there's been a 90-day pause on tariffs except for China, which he raised to 125%. And now Trump is coming out saying there's going to be an earth-shattering announcement within the next few days that is not about trade, leading a lot of people to wonder if it has to do with XRP, the crypto market. Either way, Trump has fought back with Jerome Powell, saying that he is too late, he's wrong, and he needs to cut interest rates. In less than 10 minutes ago, Jerome gave a speech at the FOMC meeting, which we're going to be playing in this video, and what effect this is going to have on the crypto market the next few months. Because since 1971, the US dollar has lost over 87% of its spending power, virtually ending baby boomers' cash retirement that are just saving money in a bank account. So we're going to break this down for you in this video, and what this means if you're planning on retiring soon, and if you're just keeping cash in a bank account, and also if you're a millennial or a Gen Z, where the smartest place to be parking cash over the next few decades is. Because with the stock market up over 5,000% since 1971, we now have the Treasury Secretary being extremely bullish on the crypto market, and trillion-dollar asset management companies telling public companies to buy more Bitcoin. So in this video, I'm just going to give you the facts, no BS, no hype, because the next FOMC meeting is coming up on the 18th of June this year, and there's three major things that we need to see in order for the crypto market to explode. So I'm going to discuss what those three things are and how you can properly position yourself before they take place to make the most amount of money possible. So if you guys are feeling bullish, comment 777. If you're feeling blessed, comment 777. And as always, if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to kick this video off with a $100 XRP giveaway, and all you need to do to be entered in to win is follow us on x.com, BullRunnersHQ, and on our pin post, simply like the post, comment XRP on the post, and then sign up for Blowfin using our affiliate link in the description below. Right now, through the end of July, you can get a 10% deposit bonus up to 50K. So if you deposit 10K, you get $1,000 back. If you deposit 50K, you get 5K back. That way you can be able to trade on spot or even on leverage if you want. And the winner is going to be announced on our daily email newsletter through the link below this Sunday. And to subscribe to the newsletter, it's really simple. Click the link below. It'll take you to a page that looks like this. You also get access to our altcoin secrets guidebook. So just click the big orange button on the page, put in your best email address so we know where to send the book, and we'll announce the winners this Sunday. Now, over the past few months, it's been very volatile in crypto because since Trump has been announcing tariffs in the short term, it's caused massive panic in the market, obviously, because when there's uncertainty, people sell out of their altcoins. And just recently, in April, Trump announced a 90-day pause on tariffs except for China, which is why we've seen a bounce in total too, which is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin's market cap from about $835 billion, upwards of $1.06 trillion. But I'm going to get into the charts in a little bit and share with you guys what happened in the past around this phase in the market cycle and how it's playing out pretty similarly to what's happening right now. Now, this is what Trump said in regards to raising the tariffs on China to 125%. At some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable, based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the US, including the Department of Commerce, Treasury, and the USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs. These countries have not retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States. So he authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period, except for China. And so like two bulls locked in by the horns, neither of them wanting to budge, the US or China. There's also another fight going on right now in the United States, and that's between Trump and Jerome Powell, because Trump has said that Jerome Powell is not doing his job. He's too late. He's wrong. He needs to lower interest rates, which is why he requested Congress to give him the ability to fire Jerome Powell, and that Jerome Powell should lower interest rates. Now Jerome just gave this speech, and here's what he said.
Inflation has come down a great deal, but has been running somewhat above our 2% longer run objective. In support of our goals, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged. The risks of higher unemployment and higher inflation appear to have risen. Surveys of households and businesses, however, report a sharp decline in sentiment and elevated uncertainty about the economic outlook, largely reflecting trade policy concerns. It remains to be seen how these developments might affect future spending and investment.
So for another meeting in a row, the Fed has kept rates steady, and similar to what happened back here from like July of 2023 until 2024, where they just held the line. This is the number one thing that we need to see is the Fed lowering interest rates, making money cheaper for overnight loans for banks in order for confidence to really come back to the crypto market to push prices higher. So regardless of all of the bullish news that's taking place with pro-crypto policies, a pro-crypto friendly SEC chair, a pro-crypto president, that is still not enough to move the markets. So I'm going to dive into two other main things that need to take place in order for your altcoins like XRP, XLM, Bitcoin, Solana, SUI, HBAR, etc. to do well. But listen to this.
That we have some very big announcement to make. It's not about trade, it's about something else, but it's going to be a truly earth-shattering and positive development for this country and for the people of this country. And that'll take place sometime within the next few days.
And so could that announcement have to do with the Senate voting on the Genius Act on Thursday? Passage of this act would be bullish for stablecoin clarity, including Ripple stablecoin RLUSD in the XRP ecosystem, all at a very pivotal point right now for the altcoin market. Because if we look at the total 2 chart on the right-hand side of the screen, it just excludes Bitcoin. So this is Ethereum and everything under it, compared to total 2 on the left-hand side of the screen, last bull run cycle, paired up with Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator. You guys can see that when we transitioned from orange to yellow in Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator, the markets erupted to the upside. Now, it wasn't as big of an explosion as everyone was expected compared to last bull run cycle, because you guys can see when we went from orange in August of 2020, we saw this little sell off to 120 billion. We worked our way through this range right here. And once we transitioned to yellow, we absolutely exploded to the upside upwards of $1.5 trillion. And that's where we saw the major sell off in the market after Bitcoin broke out past $60,000. Then altcoins pulled back nearly 60%. And so on the right-hand side of the screen, we transitioned from orange to yellow, but the market's only rallied from 860 billion to $1.67 trillion, which is still a lot of money, but it's minuscule in the grand scale of the size of the stock market and other markets. But this pullback, nonetheless, was about 49%. And just recently, around the middle of April, we transitioned from yellow to light green. Now, what happened last time that took place? Well, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, the last bull run, when we transitioned from yellow to light green, we saw this initial bounce after that first major sell-off in this disgusting red candle right here on the 17th of May. By about the 31st of May, the markets had recovered to about $1.03 trillion. Then we saw another sell-off right here, about 50% back down to about $600 billion. And you can see multiple points of contact within this zone of support. Now, even several weeks into the green phase in the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator, we got rejected from this descending resistance right here, and we came back down for a third time before the markets broke out to the upside. So we are only a few weeks into this green phase, and we are right at this descending resistance right now. So this is a very pivotal moment for altcoins here, because if we do not break to the upside, this descending resistance to the downside, back within this zone of support where we wicked off right here on the 7th of April, also before the breakout right here, it acted as a major zone of support, is about 20% to the downside for the altcoin market. So we are still in a technical downtrend. And until we see a trend reversal, the trend is your friend. Now, downtrend is just simply a series of lower highs, which we've been seeing ever since the 13th of January, and lower lows. So right now, the most recent high is the 28th of April, and it's still a lower high from the 24th of March, and it's definitely a lower high from the middle to the end of February right here. So in order to see a trend reversal, in my opinion, we need to clear like $1.25 trillion and hold it as support to get confirmation that we're going to see a major move like what we saw last bull run cycle here on the left-hand side of the screen. Otherwise, the expectations for the altcoin market to sell off back within this zone of support around $850-ish billion is actually extremely high. And so that's why I opened up a short on Solana, SUI, and XRP, and currently a little over $2,000 in profit right now. But here's a major key to understand if you're getting into crypto trading. Most people that are interested in crypto trading don't have the time to manage their entries and stop losses, so they invest with emotion, and that's why they lose. So we have a powerful way for you to make money by directly copying our trades and other successful crypto traders. And copy trading is one of the easiest and most popular ways to make money in crypto. Copying other traders that had more experience than me is how I became a crypto millionaire before 30 when I was new to the industry, back in 2016, but I had to manually enter the trades myself, which was super stressful because I didn't understand how to properly set up stop losses or take profits back then. So I ended up missing great entry points or holding longer than I should have, losing out on potential profits. That's why leveraging a copy trading platform that does this for you is the best way to go. And how it works is the exchange will put in the orders for you when you copy another experienced trader. That way you don't have to manually follow the trade alerts or enter or exit trade positions sitting at a computer all day long. And it's very easy to get started with too. All you have to do is go to the link in the description below this video and create your free account, deposit any crypto asset that is listed on the platform, and then choose which trader you like to copy that has the best win rate. And full disclaimer, because we believe in transparency, we do earn a small commission for every trade that you make on the exchange, but that helps support videos like this to help you succeed. And you can also get exclusive access to our top altcoin picks and breaking crypto news updates as well inside of our Telegram group through the link below this video. So check that out. I know you're going to love it. So like I just mentioned at the beginning of this video, when you guys go through our affiliate link in the description below for Blowfin, you guys can start trading, and we'll let you know here soon when you can be able to copy our trades. We're getting that set up for you guys. But this is why learning how to trade crypto and even just investing in crypto, if you're not going to day trade crypto, is one of the most valuable skills that you can learn over the next few decades. The US dollar has lost over 25% of its purchasing power since January of 2020. So every dollar you had is now worth 75% of the goods over the last 5 years. And that's not even the worst of it. The dollar has lost over 87% of its value since 1971. It suffered a cumulative 684% inflation. So let that sink in. A $1 item from back then costs $7.84 today. Now, if you weren't born in 1971, and let's say you're 30 years old or you're 40 years old, this is more important today than ever before because of what's happening now moving forward with inflation and the power of the dollar. So I want to put this in perspective for you because let's say, for example, you had $1 million saved back in 1971 in a bank account in cash. By March of 2025, you would have need to stash away nearly $8 million to equal the same spending power of $1 million back in 1971 because the total inflation rate from 1971 to March of 2025 being 689% averages out to about 3.93% per year. And it's actually worse than that because companies participate in price gouging where they blame it on inflation because it's the perfect scapegoat to charge more and pass on those costs to consumers. And this is just based on the basket of goods that they measure. There's certain things that have even worse inflation, like the price of the pump. So to break this down in a way that makes perfect sense, imagine you're a baby boomer who stashed that $1 million away, or even right now, let's say you're a millennial, you're Gen Z, and you stashed away $1 million in a bank account. You're not investing that into crypto. You're not investing that into real estate. You're not going to invest that into the stock market. Well, back in 1971, if you thought it'd be a comfy nest egg for retirement today, just keeping cash in an account, here's what's happened to your money over the years. Back in 1971, $1 million was actually a small fortune. You could have bought a nice house. You could have bought a few cars. You could have paid for all of your kids to go through school and college because student loans were virtually nothing back then, and still had plenty left for a great retirement. But over time, the prices of everything, houses, groceries, gas, you name it, kept going up because of inflation and what the Federal Reserve has been doing. So something that cost $1 back in 1971 costs about $7.90 today. So if you didn't spend anything from that $1 million and you still had it in your bank account, it would still say $1 million. But what you can buy for that $1 million has shrunk dramatically. The spending power would be roughly $126,000 today. So that's not enough for the same house. That's not enough for the same cars. And had you invested that in the stock market back in 1971 in January, well, today, even with this recent dip, you would be up over 5,000%. That's a 50x. That $1 million would be at $50 million today. So if we see another pullback in the crypto market by the tune of 20%, then that could be the opportunity of a lifetime to accumulate as much as possible over the next few decades because of what I'm going to share with you in a little bit. Now, there's not financial advice. As always, go consult your financial advisor because crypto is very risky. It's very volatile. You could definitely lose money in these markets if you buy the peaks and you sell the dips, but volatility is the price that you pay for opportunity. And if you can't stomach short-term volatility and you only buy when everyone's getting in the markets, then yes, it's going to be difficult to make money in crypto. But if you're the type of person that can move based on math, numbers, and simple logic here, and you accumulate when everyone's afraid or everyone's getting out of the markets, then that's how you make money. Because as you can see right here, all the way back in 1971, there was massive volatility in the stock market. 73 to 74, we saw a drop of 44%. Then we saw the markets rally back up. And ultimately, since 66 all the way until 82, This was about 20 years of volatility, and then we exploded the upside because of what? Quantitative easing and the Federal Reserve printing more money, devaluing the dollar. So that's what I'm going to get into in a little bit for the other two things that we need to see in order for crypto to experience a massive rally over the next few years. But listen to this. Treasury Secretary just said the USA should be a premier destination for Bitcoin and crypto.
I want to touch on crypto. Yesterday, as I had mentioned, the committee held a hearing with House Agriculture, or attempted to hold a hearing with the House Agriculture Committee. Turned into a very important roundtable as well regarding digital asset market structure reform. So can you quickly explain how important it is for America to take the lead here, especially as we see China leaping ahead?
Yes, sir. We believe that the United States should be the premier destination for digital assets. And as members of this committee and the Senate are attempting to do, create good market structure around that, so that U.S. best practices are used around the world.
And that's really the point, right, is having American U.S. best practices to sort of set the pace for others to follow, rather than us trying to fill in the holes that others that may be created as others set that pace.
Yes, sir. And also that digital assets are an important source of innovation that will drive that can drive usage of the U.S. dollar around the world, as with stablecoin legislation. There is speculation that there may be up to $2 trillion of demand over the next few years for U.S. government securities from digital assets.
So not only are members of the government saying this, guys, but the CEOs of the largest companies and asset managers in the world are now openly telling public companies and people to buy more Bitcoin.
And then you compare this to Bitcoin. Average annual return last 5 years, 65%. So the question to companies out there is, number one, what's your return on invested capital? Have you calculated it? How does that compare to your cost of capital? Are you generating shareholder value? Do you have extra cash? And if so, what are you doing with that extra cash? And then the ultimate question is, what's your current opportunity set? What are the investment ideas and opportunities that are in front of you? And do you think, or do you believe, the return on those ideas or opportunities will exceed the opportunity cost of Bitcoin?
So on the CME Fed Watch tool, the next FOMC meeting is coming up in 41 days, and we can see that 76% are expecting the Fed to keep rates current again, based on what Jerome Powell just said. Although these numbers could change between then because we still have 41 days, here's the next thing that we need to see take place for sentiment to shift in the crypto market from uncertainty to risk on.
Yesterday, the Fed bought 20 billion of the 58 billion 3-year notes. Today, they bought 14.8 billion of the 42 billion of 10-year notes. If you do the math, each case, it's about 35%. So we're going to see that Fed balance sheet start to grow again. And remember, every Thursday afternoon, we get to see the size. We'll pay particularly close attention this Thursday.
So when the Fed starts buying bonds, treasury bills, notes, etc., well, they would be adding to their balance sheet, because as you guys can see over the past year, even if I click all, since 2022, the Fed has been tightening on their balance sheet. And so the Fed needs to start adding to their balance sheet again. So if we start to see this tick up along with lowering interest rates, combining that with the bullish fundamental news from Trump, other members of Congress, stablecoin bills, etc., it's the perfect storm of opportunity for Q4 of 2025. So although the 18th of June, it's not expected for the Fed to cut rates, by July this summer, 59% are expecting the first rate cut. And then by September, only 5% are expecting them to keep rates steady. And so we should be expecting a rate cut by July or September of this year. Unless Jerome Powell and Trump keep arguing with each other and Jerome Powell just through ego decides not to lower rates, by October and December, we should see full-blown rate cuts by then. And combine that with the Fed adding back to their balance sheet again. The third thing that we need to see is continuing of M2 Global Liquidity Index expanding, because on the bottom of the screen, you guys can see right here in yellow, ever since the 6th of January 2025, global liquidity is broken out to a new high, but yet the crypto market is pulled back. So we can see an offset of roughly, if I measure from the high of the 30th of September on global liquidity to the high of of the crypto market, that's about 63 days. So for about 2 months. If we look back to the bull run cycle back in 2017, we can see that when we transitioned from yellow to green, the market pulled back about 51%. And then it took roughly, since that high on the 20th of August of 2017 till we broke it, about 70 days. And if you look at global liquidity at the bottom of the screen in yellow, global liquidity absolutely erupted as well too, to a new all-time high along with the crypto market. And so global liquidity is showing the right signs, which is actually extremely bullish. However, the Federal Reserve is still not adding to their balance sheet, and they're keeping interest rates higher for longer. So until the Fed starts lowering rates, adding to their balance sheet, and M2 global liquidity index continues to break out, then we're just going to experience some volatility throughout this summer. And as you guys know, the saying in the stock market, traditional markets, well, sell in May and go away. Could we see a sell-off of 20% for the crypto market? Well, if that were to happen, there are going to be some major opportunities to be able to back up the truck for the dip for your favorite altcoins. And if you want to know what altcoins and what narratives within crypto our team is the most bullish on, by Q4 of this year, we're going to share those with you inside of Altcoin Pro University. For example, our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1, 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now. Watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree, if that's a goal of yours. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.